is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline, this is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tashan Tyson, in with you over here in the news package for today, Monday 26th August 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, Taiwan, ICDF and AICA strengthen agricultural cooperation in the Federation. And the Department of Statistics give an update on country poverty assessment survey. Regionally, Liat announces flight disruptions to Guyana, other destinations due to tropical storm Dorian. Internationally, U.S. President Trump says U.S. and China to resume talk trade. And in sports, Premier's 11 team will comprise of players from both St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse.
Wow.
Welcome back, and on the national news in detail. An agreement of foster agricultural development in St. Kitts and Nevis was signed by the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, Taiwan ICDF, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA. It will foster cooperation in matters related to technology and interinstitutional management, and will seek to accelerate the improvement of agriculture, agro-processing, as well as rural development. AICA and Taiwan ICDF will establish a tripartite team comprising representatives of the Taiwanese Technical Mission, the AICA delegation in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the country's Ministry of Agriculture. The team will be responsible for developing the plan and project proposals to implement the agreement. The two entities have engaged in collaborative work in St. Kitts and Nevis in areas related to climate-smart technologies and soil and water management for almost a decade. Enumerators from the Department of Statistics here in Nevis are currently in the field conducting the survey of living conditions and household budgetary survey as part of the Enhanced Country Poverty Assessment ECPA. The Enhanced Country Poverty Assessment is a broad-based assessment of households' standard of living and consumption patterns, as well as the capacity of government and non-governmental organizations to address the issues associated with poverty in a country. The Director of the Department of Statistics here in Nevis, Mrs. Dorian Truss Phillips, spoke to the VON Newsline on the progress made thus far here in Nevis.
The Country Poverty Assessment Project is divided into different segments. The Nevis Statistics Department has completed collection of data for the household and budgetary survey, but the participation and poverty assessment survey within the community is ongoing, as well as the institutional assessment, that is an assessment of private and public businesses.
In addition to the three components of ECPA, two other components include poverty and vulnerability mapping and the macro, social and economic analysis. Mrs. Truss Phillips also encouraged the general public to continue to participate in the data collection surveys.
I'm asking that all assist the enumerators in collecting the relevant information that is required to complete the Country Poverty Assessment Project.
Director of the Department of Statistics here in Nevis, Mrs. Dorian Truss Phillips. Two 2018 model ambulances were donated to the Joseph Nathaniel France JNF General Hospital on Friday, August 23rd by the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board. Director of the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board, Antonio Maynard, said this significant sum totaling $586,183 represents a little over 2 years' worth of donations to healthcare. Mr. Maynard said that with the donation, the organization demonstrates its continued commitment to the delivery and advancement of healthcare throughout the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, adding that the board understands the importance of having good health services and a healthy workforce. Minister of Health in St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Eugene Hamilton, expressed his gratitude to the Social Security Board for contributing generously to health care in the Federation. He was quoted as saying, "Thanks to Social Security for living up to its commitment." Meantime, Minister of State with responsibility for health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, expressed the ministry's appreciation in receiving the donation. She added that the contribution brings to the total of 5 ambulances available for use in St. Kitts. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in St. Kitts and Nevis wishes to advise the general public that the deadline to make an appointment having applied online for the biometrics processing in the Federation for a Canadian visa is today, Monday, August 26. The general public is further advised that after completing the online visa application process, individuals should visit the website cic.gc.ca in order to finalize the biometric appointment process. Once signed in, a biometrics instruction letter and an information letter should be available for downloading. Persons are to send an email to bdgtng@international.gc.ca with the last name, given names, date of birth, and phone number. The St. Thomas's Festival STT Fest Committee will host its 2019 STT Fest here on Nevis from September 12th to September 19th, 2019. This year's slogan is "Keeping the Vibes Live and Supreme STT Fest 2019, and it was penned by Miss Crystal Clark. Ms. Clark will receive 2 general admission tickets to all STT Festival events. The VON Newsline spoke with Community Development Officer for the St. Thomas's Parish, Miss Denicia Smithen, who provided this information about some of the events.
Some of the activities that we have a pre-activity actually on Saturday the 7th, and it is a bar crawl, which will be followed by a fish fry at the bottom of Jessop's Road. On Thursday 12th is the opening of St. Thomas's Parish Festival, and this will be held at the Jessop's Community Center. The 11th, actually the day before, we want to have a panel discussion with community and police, and so we are encouraging the community and anybody who wishes to attend to come and ask whatever question they wish to ask and engage with the police officers.
Ms. Smithen mentioned the prizes for the various events.
For the various shows, our prices are as follows. For the dance featuring bandmasters, it is $35, and we have an early bird special. The various pageants are all priced at $25 at the gates. And then the other events, the fun day and the opening are all free, so we are inviting the general public to come out.
Community Development Officer for the St. Thomas's Parish, Ms. Denicia Smithen. According to a release from the Ministry of Human Resources in the Nevis Island Administration, NIA, the United Kingdom Chevening Scholarship Scheme is open for applications for the period August 5th to November 5th, 2019. The UK Chevening Scholarship Program offers postgraduate students full funding to follow a master's course at UK universities. The scholarships are aimed at those who will be the national and regional leaders of the future. The release also stated that persons are asked to visit www.chevening.org/scholarships for eligibility criteria, courses that are eligible for a Chevening scholarship, guidelines on the application, and other permanent concerns. According to a notice from the Judicial Management British American Insurance Company Limited, BICA, persons are advised that approximately $30 million is to be released to make a further distribution of 4% on agreed plan claims that will be paid to plan creditors, making a cumulative total of 14%. The notice also states that in the event that any plan creditor has not yet collected a first distribution to which they are entitled, the amount payable in the second distribution will additionally include such first distribution amount. Plan creditors eligible for distribution under the plan are asked to collect their payment at the following locations at the given times and dates. They are the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, Charlestown Nevis, on Tuesday, September 3rd, and distribution on this date will commence from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. In St. Kitts, the venue is the St. Kitts Solid Waste Management, Taylor's Range, Bastyr, on Wednesday, September 4th, and Thursday, September 5th. Distribution on these days will commence from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Policyholders are required to provide copies of valid identification in order to receive payments. Persons authorized to receive payments on behalf of policyholders are required to provide additional documentation and copies of valid identification for both the policyholder and the authorized personnel. Persons can also email bicomail@kpmg.com.bs for more information. In 2009, close to 4,000 individuals and businesses in St. Kitts and Nevis were among the many persons in the Eastern Caribbean who suffered losses when the biker collapsed. In more national news.
The administration was trying to find a way to provide some alleviation to the affected workers of Four Seasons, especially at this time of the year when we know school will be open in another 2 weeks. And so on Wednesday we made provision to issue the checks. The total list as provided was 361, and we are happy to report that on the day of distribution, which was Wednesday the 21st August, during the period 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Anglican Hall, 275 persons collected their checks.
That's Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance here in Nevis, Mr. Colin Dorr. He was speaking in relation to the checks distributed by the Nevis Island Administration NIA, which were made out to the 361 affected workers at Four Seasons Resort Nevis. This also means that approximately 75% of the workers received checks on August 21st. Last week, Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, announced that the NIA will provide $1,000 to all the Four Seasons Resort workers affected by the temporary closure of the resort. On June 1st, 2019, the resort temporarily closed its doors for a 4-month period to accommodate construction work. This resulted in a near 400 workers receiving 25% of their salaries. The Four Seasons Resort will reopen in October 2019. However, the VON Newsline understood that everyone did not receive the full amount of $1,000. When asked, did anyone receive less than $1,000, this was P.S. Doer's response.
Totally basis on false. Every person who got a check from us on that day got a check of $1,000 from us on the day of issuing. And we can confirm that definitely because these persons had to sign for the check. So at no point during that session we had any query from anyone in that their checks was less than $1,000 prior to their signing or receiving the check. Mind you, there were persons who came expecting the name to be on the list, but they were not on the list. And these are persons who might have been on 25% initially, but we call to work in other areas. For example, we had some persons who had worked other parts of the hotel on 25%, but we called to do security duties, which means at this point you are not home on 25, but you are back working. And so those persons would not have been on the list because they were receiving additional income and considered as fully gainfully employed up until this point.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance here in Nevis, Mr. Colin Dorr. Meantime, although around 86 persons did not collect their checks on Wednesday, August 21st, individuals can still collect their monies according to the P.S. Dorr.
Those persons who didn't collect were either working elsewhere or out of country, and so provision has been made for these persons to collect their checks at the Treasury Department at their convenience.
Mr. Colin Dorr. The 2019-2020 academic school year begins on Monday, September 2nd. And finally, the Solid Waste Management Corporation SWMC in St. Kitts recently received 3 20-yard McNeilus compactors and will assist in the SWMC in its quest to manage waste and be more effective in its garbage collection process. General Manager of the corporation, Ivor Keithley Phillip, explained that unlike the older trucks, the new ones do not have hydraulic lift to easily pick up garbage bins. The trucks are equipped with various sounds to alert people of their arrival. They are also equipped with 2 cabs to seat everyone, include the truck inside the truck's cabin for safety purposes. Moreover, St. Kitts Nevis Disposal, SKANDIS, and D&D Services and Admirals Enterprises Limited were contracted by the SWMC to assist with garbage collection. Jamila Christopher, Senior Manager for Human Resources and Communications, said that although the institution received new trucks, there was still the need for the smaller trucks. Thus far, SWMC has 5 trucks in operation, and garbage collection is done twice daily from Monday to Friday and once on Saturdays for assigned areas. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com and check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for 2, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy Supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family to swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back to another regional news in detail. According to Cibro.com, Liat has issued an advisory regarding flights and wishes to advise passengers that due to the passage of Tropical Storm Dorian, that several destinations within the Liat network will be affected. In the interest of passenger and crew safety, flights for Monday, 26 August have been cancelled. Passengers will be allowed to rebook between August 25th and August 28th, 2019. Affected passengers will have all change fees and fare differences waived for travel within the specific rebooking period. Passengers who decided to travel but are unable to complete their journey due to the disruption caused by weather conditions will not be provided with meals, transportation, hotel accommodation, etc. Passengers with onward connections are advised to contact the respective regional and international carriers. Liat will continue to operate its normal flight schedule in the unaffected territories in the network. According to AccuWeather.com, at 5 p.m. today, Tropical Storm Dorian was located at 12.5 degrees north, 58.3 degrees west, and 165 miles east-southeast of St. Lucia. The winds were 57 miles per hour. The gusts, however, were 69 miles per hour. It was moving west-northwest at 30 miles per hour, and its pressure was 1,002 millibars. In the interest of passenger and crew safety, Liat has cancelled flights for Monday, August 26th as a result of the storm. Passengers have until August 28th to rebook their flights. Affected passengers will have all change fees and fare differences waived for travel within the specified rebooking period. Barbados is now under a tropical storm warning. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. Out of Jamaica. The earthquake unit has confirmed that a minor earthquake was felt in several sections of the island Thursday morning. 9 parishes reported feeling the effects of the tremor. LoopJamaica.com was told by analysts in the earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies Mona campus, Carleen Black, that the unit quake struck at 6:45 a.m. approximately 4 kilometers northwest of Guys Hill in St. Catherine, close to the border with St. Anne. It had a magnitude of 4.2 and a focal depth of 15.1 kilometers and was felt in Clarendon, St. Thomas, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, St. Catherine, Portland, St. Mary, and Kingston, and St. Andrew. The area which is affected depends largely on the direction that a lot of the energy was directed. A lot of people felt it, she added. There have been no reports of damage or injuries. And finally, out of the BVI. While stating that legislators don't determine salaries in the public service, Premier Andrew Foy has said some supervisors and persons in managerial roles are behind the low wages being paid to government employees. Foy, who is also Minister of Finance, said his government is now considering having a salary review within the public service. He reasoned that government workers will be enthused to work more if they are paid more money. The Premier further said the salary review would result in government employees receiving bonuses if they assist the government in achieving a surplus. His comments follow an argument that several seasoned public servants are being lured to the Recovery and Development Agency, which offers higher salaries. And that's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back. Now the international news in detail. President Donald Trump has said the U.S. and China will very shortly resume trade talks after a weekend of escalating tension with Beijing. On Friday, Mr. Trump sharply hiked tariffs on billions of dollars of Chinese imports in retaliation for fresh duties from Beijing. China has yet to comment, but earlier called for calm to resolve the row. Mr. Trump sent out conflicting messages over the weekend, at first appearing to express regret about the latest tariffs, only for the White House to retract his comments on Sunday.
The continuing trade battle between the world's two largest economies is seen in the markets as one of the biggest threats to the global outlook. The anxiety was aggravated by news of new Chinese tariffs on American goods and a rapid response in kind from the US. President Trump was then reported to have regretted not raising tariffs by even more than he proposed. Those developments helped to reinforce concerns about the danger of slower growth or even a recession and made their mark on Asian financial markets.
Asian stock markets stumbled on Monday after a sharp escalation in the U.S.-China trade war rattled investors. In China, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index slid 3.2%, while the Shanghai Composite gave up 1.3%. Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 index dropped 2.3%. The Chinese yuan weakened to a fresh 11-year low against the U.S. dollar. The onshore yuan was around 7.15 per dollar in morning Asian trade. The moves came after China delivered its latest trade war strike, announcing plans to hit $75 billion worth of U.S. goods with tariffs and hikes to existing duties. International leaders at the G7 summit have agreed to provide logistical and financial support to help fight fires in the Amazon rainforest. French President Emmanuel Macron said G7 countries would release $22 million. The agreement came as the leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US continued to meet in France. According to the BBC, a record number of fires is burning in Brazil, mostly in Amazon, according to the country's space research agency. Mr. Macron said the funds would be made available immediately, primarily to pay for more firefighting planes. President Macron last week described the fires as an international crisis and pushed for them to be prioritized at the G7 summit, which his country is hosting. G7 leaders also intend to discuss plans to reforest the Amazon at the United Nations General Assembly meeting in September. The severity of the fires and the response by Brazil's government has prompted a global outcry and protests. And finally, torrential rain and floods have killed 62 people in Sudan, according to the official state news agency. The country has been battered by heavy rain since early July, affecting almost 200,000 people across 15 states. While Nile State in the south of the country has been hit hardest, White Nile State in the south of the country has been hit hardest. The UN said that more than 37,000 homes have been destroyed or damaged, while more flash floods are expected. The rainy season continues until the end of October. And that brings us to the end of our news segments. The ladies in sports is next.
to be one of the hottest. Keep cool. Shop at the TDC Home and Building Depots. Get up to 25% in savings on fans, air conditioning units, coolers, refrigerators, freezers, pools, and so much more. So don't sweat. Visit the TDC Home and Building Depots on Frigate Bay Road or Penny's Industrial Estate today and beat the heat. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while stocks last. See stores for details.
Welcome back, and on the sports in detail. In local sports, Director of Sports Jamea Claxton stated on Thursday that the game between the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots and the Premier's 11 will comprise of top players from both St. Kitts and Nevis. He indicated that everything is going well in terms of preparations and noted that his department is responsible for making sure that the grounds are in line with the required standards that are expected to be in place for international cricketers. The match is slated for Thursday, 29 August at 2 p.m. at the E.T. Willett Park. Admission into the park is $5. Elsewhere, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots have announced 2 temporary replacements to their squad for the upcoming season, both due to international commitments for players they selected at the Hero Caribbean Premier League CPL draft. Isuru Udana is unavailable for the first 2 games of the CPL season due to Sri Lanka's ongoing series against New Zealand. He'll be replaced for the first 2 matches of the Patriots campaign by Trinidadian batsman Jason Mohammed played for the Guyana Amazon Warriors last season. The Patriots ICC America's pick for the draft, Aaron Jones, will be playing for the USA until September 14th. Jones will be replaced by Kejon Atley. India's seamer Jasprit Bumrah took 5 second innings wickets for just 7 runs as the hosts fell to 100 all out. Only Ruston Chase, Kimar Roach and Miguel Cummins reached double figures as the West Indies were bowled out in under 27 overs. India captain Virat Kohli had set West Indies 419 to win after declaring his team's second innings on 343 for 7. Victory puts India joint top of the inaugural World Test Championship table, albeit after just 1 game. The second test begins in Jamaica on Friday. Scores: India 297 and 343 for 7 declared. West Indies 222 and 100. And Ben Stokes' astonishing 135 not out repeated his World Cup heroics and gave England one of their greatest victories on Sunday to keep the Ashes series against Australia alive. Just as he dragged England through the super over against New Zealand, Stokes played one of the most incredible test innings by an Englishman to level the series at 1-1. In the chase of an England record 359 at Delirious Headingley, the home side still needed 73 when Stokes was joined by last man Jack Leach. With 70 needed to win, Stokes was dropped by a diving Marcus Harris. From the next over, with only 2 needed, Leach should have been run out, only for Lyon to fumble the ball, and from the very next delivery, Stokes could have been LBW, but Australia were out of reviews. Scores: Australia 179 and 246. England 67 and 362 for 9. And finally, Noah Lyles said he was shocked by fellow American sprinter Christian Coleman's 3 missed drug tests, which have left the World Championship 100-meter favorite facing a possible suspension. The 22-year-old Lyles said it was none of his business when asked whether or not he thinks Coleman is a clean athlete. Britain's Daily Mail and the Times newspaper reported that Coleman is challenging one of the 3 alleged whereabouts failures. Athletes who fail to make themselves available for 3 drug tests are treated the same as athletes who fail a drug test and face an automatic ban. Coleman, the world record holder over 60 meters and world indoor 60-meter champion, has emerged as the most likely successor to Usain Bolt following the Jamaican Prince King's retirement in 2017. That's it for sports. The General Weather Report is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Weather tomorrow will be sunny, becoming cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of showers by late tomorrow. Winds are east-northeast at 19 to 30 kilometers per hour or 10 to 16 knots. Seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. A caution is in place for small craft operators. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:56 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Monday, 26th August 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Taiwan, ICDF, and IECA strengthen agricultural cooperation in the Federation, and the Department of Statistics gives update on country poverty assessment survey. Regionally, LIAT announces flight disruptions to Guyana, other destinations due to tropical storm Dorian. Internationally, U.S. President Trump says U.S. and China to resume trade talks. And in sports, Premier's 11 team will comprise of players from both St. Kitts and Nevis. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.
VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the Powerhouse.
It is now 6:32 in the Eastern Caribbean. Good evening to one and all out there in Radio Land. Today is Monday, the 26th day of August, 2019. I am Melissa Martin. I'll be keeping you company this evening.
Dubstar music, every time to the fullest, to the goodness. Never change, never range. It's all about.
Life is what you make it. But you, no man no better than no man, no matter politics or your religion. You know see it. I see the Buddhists say Buddha and the Christians say Christ. Here Rastaman him say Rastafari. The Jews in the synagogue shout El Shaddai, while the Muslim a defend him aisle. But to make the window rain a fall. Trigo, bikini ballers. I know say there is a God, so mankind don't know what you yourself. See them never stop until leader may no fall. But who flash lightning roll thunder and clap thunder ballers. I know say there is a God, so mankind don't know what you yourself. Say me not follow pagan. Call them in a disbelief when they speak about the Most High. The wicked on seas I pray. It was answered.